Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. And tonight I just want to pass something on. This will help the people who think, the people who want to find out things, the people who want to get the details of it. Because remember, a lot of times we just go for the shine, the brightest light, the thing that's put in our face the most. And we'll just focus on that. It's like music. I don't even think you would even call it music. But, the sounds that we hear, they're trying to spread that sound to everyone so everybody could be on that same vibration. But in hearing that sound, you want to break down the details of that sound. The details. I'll put it in this way before we get started. So let's say you are going to describe somebody and, they left and you say, oh, well, what were they wearing? Of course, you'll focus on the clothes, but you want to get detailed. You want to talk about what kind of rings was she wearing? What kind of earrings was she wearing? I mean, you might want to get down to the details if you could, remember the socks. Detail is just detail. What's detail? It's the little parts of something. And all those little parts make up give starts to make the puzzle more clear. I'll put it like that. Let's say the details are the puzzle pieces. And when you put them together, you can figure out a lot of stuff. You can solve a lot of problems on getting the detail. So that's what we're going to get into tonight, the details of things. So as everybody knows that Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Harvey Weinstein, all this shit is coming to a head, but they don't want regular people to figure it out because many of you are participating in it. That's the real. See, these people control the media. They control the education. They control the church. They're running every aspect of your life. And many of us, not knowing who we are, confused to the max of who we are, why we're here, why are we doing what we're doing. Those questions are never asked. Never. And we come in and we let all these people control what we see, what we hear, what we listen, everything. There's a problem with that. It's a problem. So everybody knows that this chick, Ghislaine Maxwell, her trial started yesterday, is blacked out in the news. On regular TV, they're just giving you a gloss over, if anything. They're not telling you about it. The people that's in, the defendants of all the names she's about to drop. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of those names are people that we think Jesus sent. Pay attention to this trial. Wherever you are, you or somebody because you ain't got time to do it, or you're doing something else, you're doing some other work, I understand. But if you can get somebody to follow this trial, or you can do it wherever you are, follow this, because they blacken it out for a reason. It's going to answer a whole bunch of questions when you just simply look at the details. So, one of the things I want to share with you is this chick, Ghislaine Maxwell. Who is she? What is she really about? What does she do? How did she get with this cat who was this billionaire? So we're going to check out how this story unfolds. But along the way, I'm going to ask some questions that, I'm sure many of you, have asked, like something don't seem right. Check this out. Check this. You talk about these kids, you talking about they trafficking kids. Oh my God. Check this shit out. This is a project this chick did, and it was to move children. You're going to see. It was to move children, because everybody think charities and nonprofit organizations, 9 times out of 10, they're demonic. They just moving people, moving kids. Parents don't care. They broke. They ain't got nothing going on. Sure. And these people have been moving children right up under our noses. And we, the public, have been the main ones pushing this ideology. Check this chick out. The Terramar Project. This is a project started by Ghislaine Maxwell, a sister organization in the United Kingdom, incorporated in 2013. They closed in 2019. This was shortly after New York federal prosecution arrested Maxwell's close associate, Jeffrey Epstein. So, the question right there. It announced its closure in 2019, right after Epstein, this project closed. Let's see what the project is. And it closed because he was convicted of being a sex offender and was charged with new sex trafficking crime. See, this is new. This is new. Now you're about to see why this COVID stuff is real. Because what these people have been doing, those children crying. Now, the second worst cry I've heard was a whole bunch of children crying. If you ever heard it, it kind of sounds like bumblebees when they make that, when it's a whole bunch of them and that sound they make. What a whole bunch of children crying reminds me of that. It has that frequency. The coldest wail I've ever heard is a mother who's lost their child. There are certain sounds and frequencies that put you in a certain place. They shape the way you do things. Those frequencies, those sounds. A wailing mother at the loss of their child is the coldest one I've ever heard. Ever heard. Cold. So check out this Terramar project, and you're going to see what's happening. And this is what's going on in the world. This is what's running the world right now. This is what all this COVID shit's about, allegedly. Check out these demons, man. Check this out. The Terramar Project was founded on 26 September 2012. That's not even 10 years ago, y'all. at the Blue Ocean Film Festival and Conservation Conference in Monterey, California, and focused on the 64% of the oceans that lie outside any single country's jurisdiction. Their mission was to create a global ocean community based around the idea of shared ownership of the global commons, also known as the high seas or international waters. You guys see where this is going? I want you to check out the groups who funded this. In 2014, Maxwell gave a lecture at the University of Texas at Dallas, and a year later, a TED Talk. I bet if you go pull that up, I bet you can't find it. And if you do find it, send it to us and we can share it. Maxwell spoke at the United Nations as the founder of the Terramar Project. She accompanied Stuart Beck, Terramar board member, that's a cat we want to check out, to two United Nations meetings to discuss the project. Who is the United Nations really? I mean, I don't see where since their inception, they've been anything. You know, they haven't solved any problems in the world. Well, I mean, what is their mission? Okay. Scott Borgensen, see, you can't even go to his name, is blacked out, is listed on Terramar's board of direction for 2013 at the Arctic Circle Conference. What is that and what do they do? Is this where they traffic these children to? What are all these conferences? And the world is in such fucked up position. What are all these conferences doing? You about to find out if you pay attention to this Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Get as many people to focus on it as you can, because we're going to learn a lot about us, because the names on this chick's list, we going to feel like assholes. Because see, remember, R. Kelly. I remember when R. Kelly pissed on the chick, and after that, people were still going to see him in concert. People were still going to see him like, say, got to pay attention to that about us. Because see, we like to get into everybody's thing. And when we wind up, we can't complain about nothing because we're illicit in it, just as the people who come up with it. But you have a group of people always trying to flip it, make it seem like everything's cool, and it's not. You know, there's many stories of our children, the things that's happening to children, I'm talking about parents too. It's not just the children, but if the children are all gone, how many years before we don't have no adults? Scott Bergerson listed on, check this out, y'all, listed on Terramar's board of directors for 2013, appeared with Maxwell at the Arctic Circle Conference. Find out what the Arctic Circle Conference was. Where was it? Why would you be having a conference in the Arctic Circle? Is it just a name because it sounds obscure and they'll know nobody will really care about it? Is that the magic being used here? Talk about something that people have no connection to. Check out what they're using on you. In 2014, Maxwell and Borgerson spoke at the event in DC, sponsored by the Council of Foreign Relations, titled Governing the Ocean Commons, Growing Challenges, New Approaches. Tax documents for U.S. organization, the Terramar Project consistently lists Ghislaine Maxwell as the organization's president. The Terramar Project was in New York City for 990 tax filings from 2012 through 2015, with later filings showing a Woburn, Massachusetts address for 2016 to 2017. The New York Times reported that Terramar gave out no money in grants for 5 years, in that it was described as having unusually high accounting and legal fees for an organization of that size. What y'all think? What y'all think? Hmm? See, with all the stories that's going around, how these kids are missing and how these people are living underground and in tunnels and stuff, you don't think this stuff plays in effect of that? Questions were raised about Terramar intel behind the high-profile appearance by Maxwell at the United Nations. See, those are those little blurbs they be showing you on TV, like something is important is really going on, and it's not. These motherfuckers demons, y'all, and they right in our face, and we cool with it. How do you think this plays with a nation full of people who have no clue of who they are or why they're here? Imagine. Imagine. See, we don't think that all these abortion clinics, all this stuff is tied together. And one of the reasons we're in such a shitty position is because we play into all of this. I mean, we happily go lucky, don't care. So what? You see the attitudes out there about this? Questions were also raised about what Terramar entailed behind the profile appearance. Read that. In 2017, an executive at a maritime firm made multiple requests for project funding to Terramar's development. Director Brian Uratzis. See, notice how the names are blacked out? You notice that? Why do you think that is? And see, now a lot of people always say, oh, you're using Wikipedia. I'm like, yeah, but this is one thing that Wikipedia is cool for. You can put what you want to put in there. I mean, you can block out the name, but it's not really blocked out. You can't block out his name because it will tie you to what he does. You have to go do that itself. Check out these people who has interest in this Terramar. Terramar as a whole was pretty hollow. It didn't mean it was a dummy company used to traffic these people that Ghislaine Maxwell is now on trial for. And I'm saying the information they put out, now they're trying to black it out. If you've been following the trial, they've been trying. They're not putting it in. Nancy Grace ain't on this shit. You see what I'm saying? And look what this is recent stuff. This ain't 30, 40 years ago, but you really get some stuff back then. On the organization's IRS to return, the organization reported that it owed $500,000 to Maxwell. It owed $1,341 on credit card debt. These people are what they say. Epstein was a financier. See, it's how you say it. He was the financier. Money, baby. I got money. I run these hoes. See, that's how they do business. And you talk about these little numbers up here, huh? I mean, what y'all think? I mean, what you seeing? I mean, because a lot of other 99% of us won't even pay attention to this. We don't care. The Christmas, it's December 1st. You know what you call African Americans about to lose their mind in Christmas. Do you know in California that people put cotton on their roofs and on their lawn to pretend like it's snow? And Los Angeles is a desert, y'all. Menticide. Negroes put cotton on their roofs and on their lawn, and I know you've heard of it. I know you've heard of it, to simulate snow in the desert. Jeffrey Epstein was charged with this new sex trafficking crimes, July 2019. Epstein was a close associate of Maxwell. The Terramar Project announced its closure 6 days later, to 12 July 2019. What y'all think? I mean, what you think? This is why it's important for indigenous people, and seriously, y'all, just check it out. You're gonna have to make your own way. You're gonna have to make, because so you see what they're doing. They coming up with some project that won't work, some dummy corporation pretending like they know everything about the sea and the ocean and the world. They don't. And they're just they're gonna use that to traffic children. Nobody saw this. Nobody's whose job to oversee this stuff saw it. Of course they saw it. They were just paid to shut up. Many people are involved in this. Many people. Many people. You saw the names that are blacked out. You're hearing the Chris Cuomo, the mayor of New York. His brother just got fired. You about to see some heads roll. Because this chick, Ghislaine Maxwell, about to drop dime on everybody. So you see what she's about. Seriously, I think if you go through this chick, the less you'll learn about the oceans. That's just the front. So pay attention to this trial that's going on. Pay attention to this trial that's going on. Because we're going to learn a lot about this rap game. You're going to understand wholeheartedly why you have shitty music now. And really, you should be upset about it, but you're not. You don't care, Pay attention to the music. Pay attention to the culture that's being pumped. The brother told me last night, and that's what I'm saying. You have some intelligent folks out here. His brother told me last night, he said, man, at my house, I only have the antenna. He said, so I don't have no TV at my house. I'm like, dude, you doing about what 60% of the population's doing. Don't trip. Just come up with an alternative for TV that, intelligent people can watch. Okay, the airwaves are yours. This is what I'm saying. It's not what's just on the ground. We just can't look at people, what they look like. Who are they? Where are they from? Who are they people? You can learn a lot about a person just by knowing where they're from. Just knowing where they're from. That's all we got to do. So, if you can, more so, if you want to find cooler information, go to alternative sites, because places like YouTube, they're banning. So you see, I think about 3 of the CEOs of those major, what do you call those platforms, stepped down today. The CEO of Twitter, I mean, 3 of them stepped down today. I know some of you know who they are. So this is what I'm saying. Babylon is falling down, y'all. Babylon's falling down. Fall down a lot faster if it didn't have our energy into it. Because a lot of us think that's mama, and it ain't. These are the kind of organizations. What was the one up there? Council for Relation. These are the kind of organizations that make policy for people, make policy for banks. These are people that are projected to be great people on the news or on the television or on the radio. See, we worship these people. We think they're wonderful. All they got to do is see on the news, Jeffrey Epstein is coming to the Negro community of Atlanta, and it'll be a news. They'll pump him up like he's something great. And he's just there to fleece you or your children. That's all what these people are about. What they say, Georgia Guidestones, I tell you all the time, reduce the population. Why isn't that talked about? How come we don't talk about that? FBI agent down here told me the 20 freeway from Texas to however far it goes east is a major trafficking corridor. All that's going to tie together. All that's going to tie together. Now, a lot of people have been knowing this for a while. And why? And you might say, well, why hasn't anything been said? It has been said. Most people just ignore it. It's been said. You're going to trip out when you find out the church is involved. See, that's another one. See, them, when you find out they roll in, you don't think that, what was that minister or that bishop in Atlanta a few years ago? Bishop Eddie Long. Really? And you're going to trip out. You're going to be even more pissed because they Bible tell them to do it. Don't they? See, this is what I'm saying. You really don't. You really are in a hard spot because you push the stuff that they tell you to put out, and this is the shit they've been telling you to put out. What, for the past 300 years, and we've been doing it full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. We have built these institutions. And you don't think we're going to have to pay? Because remember, what goes around comes around. Everything you do comes back to you. You inhale, you exhale. It's simple. And so, I think we might want to stop playing that game, because what this trial is going to show you is what's happening to your kids in these foster places, what's happening to your kids in these schools. I mean, they've been saying it. What have these athletes, these female athletes, been saying? They got doctors at universities, and we can't wait to send our kids to college. All in order so we can send our kids through that. If you go to the University of Florida, A&M University, what's that, FAMU? They're called the Rattlers. If you go to their athletic department, you'll see an image on the wall. I don't know if it's an image or if it's a replica. They just pass them out to schools. So you answer me this question, because every time I talk to this about brothers, they get mad at me. And I'm just asking a question. Notice that when you ask people questions and they get pissed, ask them why they're pissed. If you go into FAMU gymnasium, there's an image. I have the image. I'll show it one night. It'll be on the webpage. Webpage will be up in a minute, y'all. Just give me some time. I want to make it simple. If you walk into the gymnasia, FAMU, and I'm probably at all these other universities, there's an image or a plaque of Benjamin Franklin having all these little boys come up to him. This is gay. And I always wanted to know, why is this in a HBCU? That's state culture. I can't never get an answer. I mean, this is what we sending our kids to. We want to be a part of so much. This is what we'll send our kids through. What you think? I'm talking about the reality, because the reality plays out. Life is going to press on, with or without you. And if your suggestion is that men can be women, women can be men, when they've been, that's their fate. That's what they are. No, that's just how life goes. And then to have them competed for each other, really? That's the nonsense we're into? What do you think gonna come out of that? So be around loved ones, those who are promoting life. Life is what we all here to enjoy. We can do things. We can figure out things. We can put our minds together and make things happen, make things work, train our children to be whatever we want them to be, whatever's good for 7 generations down the line. Somebody did it for you. Somebody gave you that chance. Living in America, your mama could have easily aborted you. But She wasn't that type. She was a different kind of soul. That different kind of soul bore you. Let's pay attention to what's going on around us, guys, and keep passing that information. If you hear information out there that makes no sense and just used to keep people in the same position for the next 40 years, you better have something to have them go in the hole. Because all this dumb shit that motherfuckers putting out, that's dumb. When you ask them about it, they say, you know what, dude, it's dumb. And what's being used to keep us stagnant, pay attention to this Maxwell trial. Go back and read some of those books that people told you to read and ask yourself some questions. And everything will be revealed to you. So, the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Pay attention to it, y'all. Pay attention. You about to learn a whole bunch about the people you love. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. We'll see you next time. Peace.